So, I welcome you to the interview.
Thank you.
An interview with no direction and no destination, just as you wanted it, which makes my life difficult. But why don't you start introducing yourself and tell me, what are you?
Starting with a basic human being, I think. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Actually,
Human being.
Human being. Yeah. Because everything else is just making a difference, which is not really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It is fairly apparent that you have been on a very long journey. Why don't you go and tell us a story about where that journey began?
That's a long way back. Yeah, I think it's maybe 30 years ago, and it started very unconscious. Yeah. At that time, I was somehow interested in the Celtic history and Celtic rituals. And I was not thinking of shaman or healer or something like that, or a medium or a channel. But at that time, I was just fascinated about the warriorhood of the Celtic warriors. Yeah, mm-hmm. And so that was actually the reason why I bought a bowrun, the Irish drum. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to be a warrior. Mm-hmm. That simple. Yeah. And somehow I felt immediately that I will never take a lesson of playing a bowrun in a traditional way. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I just started at home, and then I was doing some research and reading books about rituals, and I did it with some friends, very, very simple, at a river, and we came together and we just did it. And at that time, no idea of shaman or healer or to use it for the benefit. It was just a ritual, and I like to have this ritual with a little fire, little incense or something like that. And then suddenly I felt a shift. Yeah. And this had to do with my bowrun, with the drum, the first drum I had. And I can remember that I was in my small apartment in Berlin, and I was playing a drum, and somehow I was not interested in any social life anymore. After work, I came home and I was playing my drum. Yeah. And then suddenly, out of the blue, there was a voice speaking to me, sing, they demand. And I said, well, what shall I sing? I don't know a song. Yeah. And I started to sing, and I experienced my first soul retrieval. And came out of the blue, and I burst out in tears, and I saw myself as a healer in North America, and I was burying all my fellows, all my people, after they were killed. Yeah, and it was very traumatic and very tough experience. Yeah, and so I didn't know what really happened, but I saw myself, and it was an experience, and the experience was so real. So this is where it all started. Yeah, this is what I also teach now. Only trust the experience. Mm-hmm. Never believe. Mm-hmm. Never believe anything. Mm-hmm. Yeah? And then I was going to Cornwall many times, to the old places, and I had my first experiences of ghosts and all these things. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then later, to make it a bit short, because it's a really long way, later I was interested in some therapy, because I have quite a traumatic childhood and had to do some healing stuff, and this I did, and I met one therapist, has led me to another. Yeah, that was ongoing. Yeah, always. Yeah, I was in a very tough encounter therapy, and they helped me to break up my armor. I was, with my traumatic experience, I had a big armor, and I had no feeling, and I couldn't really get in, and I couldn't get out. Yeah, so I was really stuck inside. Yeah. And then after the encounter therapy, I was with my first teacher, but I had a really big blockade on I am spiritual. It didn't exist. Yeah, I was already on spiritual experiences, but I was really blind. No, I'm doing therapy. Yeah, so that was my way. And even very clear and obvious happenings as a channel, as a medium, as a healer happened with my teacher. I said, I'm doing therapy. Nothing special, nothing spiritual. And this went on and on and on, and I was with her, I think, 4 or 5 years. And I did every training, every course, every group, yeah, regularly, every week, an evening group, and so on. Yeah, but I was really totally hiding. Yeah, and I'm doing therapy. Yeah, and on one point, in one seminar, she didn't tell us the content of the seminar. And in one seminar, she said, "It's time to come out." And she asked everybody, without thinking, go in the center of a group and say, I am. And then, without thinking, say it. Yeah, and I said, I'm a healer. And at the same time, I was totally afraid that they will kill me. Yeah. I was totally fear and so on. But my blocking was still big, and very, very tight. And I did this statement, and at the same time I was running away. Yeah. And then I had my first accident with a knee, and I knew everything about psychosomatic symptoms and so on, and I know, okay, the knee is really bowing down, yeah, and fear. Yeah. And I realized, okay, this is my calling. Yeah, but I don't like to surrender. And so I was dancing at a discotheque, and I had a very severe injury, so I fell down and I couldn't get up anymore without any help. And I knew, okay, this is it. Yeah, this is it. And then I did something which I will never forget. I knew immediately, okay, this is a very clear sign to follow my destiny, my mission. And so I said, oh, please God, make the wound heal, make the knee well again very soon, and I will follow as you demand me. And he did, and I said, fuck you, I don't. Yeah, and that was, and it just took 2 weeks, and it happened on the other knee. Same accident. Yeah, I don't know how to say it. It flipped out.
Oh, the kneecap?
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah. So I was just on the crossroad, either having knee problems all my life or following my mission. Yeah, that was it. that was my decision to make. Yeah. So somehow I didn't like to have knee problems all my life, so I surrendered.
Do you believe that emotions, well, it's psychosomatic, but do you, out bigger picture, do you believe that emotions can change matter?
I don't really get it.
Okay.
Please help me to understand. What do you mean? I mean, how do you mean emotion can change matter?
So I'm missing the Japanese scientist now that looked at water exposed to happiness, water exposed to sadness, and through
the crystals.
Yes.
Yeah.
So just generally, like the energy people have, you know, do you believe it changes matter, like body or things?
I wouldn't say it changes matter at first place. I would say it changes energy. Yeah, and then everything else will follow. Yeah, this is also what I discovered on my path, and also when I work with students and clients. Yeah, so first we change the energy, and then the body, because the matter is on a so-called lower energy, or more solid. So it takes more time to change or to adapt the energy change, and then it will be transformed.
So sorry for interrupting you, but on your journey, what was the biggest milestone that sped up your development?
I mean, I had many milestones. This is why I'm somehow think about it. But of course, meeting my guru is absolutely baseline. Yeah, because he showed me something so clearly, or he enabled to experience, to make it really an experience of there is something beyond, and there's something we can call energy. Yeah. And what I like to I use a certain saying. He showed me the gateless gate. Yeah, and he really offered such a clear experience of there is energy, and if you trust that energy, and without knowing, without concepts, then it will guide you. And that is a very baseline. Yeah. When I met him, it was really like, oh my God, yeah. And I couldn't look away. I'm spiritual. Yeah. With his clear work and clear transmission of spiritual energy, cosmic energy.
And did he have a specific spirituality that you have now, or was it just open?
He didn't like any religious or so-called spiritual context. Yeah, he was totally against that. I mean, not totally against that, but he was somehow. No, he was really formless. Yeah, and in this formlessness, he offers every soul participating a certain way of getting your way into it, and also to find the way you have to pass it on to others. Yeah. So it's a very universal thing.
So what you learned from the guru and being a shaman, are they separate, the same, different journey?
What I said before, the baseline is energy, and this is in shamanic healing, channeling, or whatever. Yeah, it's always about energy. Yeah, but I have to say that the way I became, or the way the energy made me, is somehow independent from his teaching, but somehow, yeah, because the baseline, he's my root guru, yeah, and without him, this transformation I went through and I'm still going through wouldn't happen. Yeah, but the shamanic thing is a way. I mean, everything that happens right now in my work is not really based on his teaching. I mean, not directly, not immediately. Yeah, and this is also what I realized later on, that my surrender to energy somehow brought me to a point where I had to realize, okay, the time with him is over. And that was really a big turning point, because I had to let him go. Otherwise, I couldn't have this mystical, shamanic,
twist,
tantric twist. Yeah, it wouldn't be possible, because he could support this. Hey, have this entrance, have this connection, the connectedness to the cosmic energy, which is universal. This he did, and then, okay, now his job was done. Yeah, and then I had to see, okay, the energy is now doing something with me and put me at the right place. Yeah, where I could really feel that there was more impact, more energy, and more attuned with my inner being. That I really feel, okay, yeah, this is it. This is the way I am meant to be. Yeah? And this is the way I have to help, support, and teach others.
Walk me through your relationship to, or your fascination with freaks and weirdos. So, why do you have a specific calling in that area?
This started even earlier. Yeah, I'm really grateful that I had my learning in my youth and my teenage days. Yeah, because in the age of 14, something like this, 14 or 15, I was never normal anymore. Yeah, so I was nowadays they call it gothic. At that time we say grufty, and yeah, and I was dressed in black, and it was also really nice for me after many years of transformation. And when this burn part came, and I was dressed in black again, and somehow it feels like the old days, but in a different way. Yeah, because at that time, looking back, I would say I was connected somehow, because I was interested in not cremation ground. I had no entrance to, because I was born in the GDR. But I was interested in cemetery, and I was spending a lot of time there. And so the connection was there, but it was empty. It was not really, it has no content, yeah, and no direction. It was somehow a connection, a true connection, but useless.
Yeah,
because I didn't know how can I do something with it, or for others, for the benefit of others. Yeah, so I'm really grateful that it started so early, that I have a chance now to just connect with that, yeah, with this kind of courage. Yeah. And for me, there was never I was never at a point where it somehow bothered me or created some struggle to follow something. Yeah, I can maybe notice some confusion. Yeah, sometimes a bit insecureness. Yeah, but never that I really struggle. Yeah, with kind of weirdness. Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, how I dress and how I behave. Yeah, and not to forget, I was working with mentally and physically retarded people, especially schizophrenia. Yeah, and that was really great. Yeah, they were great teachers for me. Yeah, because they showed me, hey, you can be a freak and life goes on. Yeah, I mean, I was quite fascinated when I was working with them. I was really fascinated in that matter of schizophrenia because I felt there is something. Yeah. And later on, I just realized there's only one little difference between them and me. I can switch, and they can't. This is the only thing which makes them so-called sick or suffer. Yeah, and me free to flow around. Yeah.
Before we spend some time in the past now. Before we come to today, are there any regrets?
No. No.
Look me in the eye. Any regrets?
No.
Good. So tell me, why should a person come to you today?
They shouldn't. Yeah, because it's the same. This is why I'm not trying to convince someone to come for my work. And I also don't try to manipulate or call them or lure them into my work. Yeah? Because my way has showed me that because I was not looking for a guru, I was not looking for a teacher. Yeah? It just happened. Yeah? And the only responsibility I see is to display and show myself as clearly as I can and as authentic as I can. Yeah? And then, only then, the right people find me. Yeah? Only those, yeah? Because in this authentic showing of my work and not hiding the harsh and tough parts, and also not hiding the light and beautiful parts or the crazy parts. Yeah, people have the chance to say, "Oh my God, he's somehow triggering something." Yeah, in a good or in a bad way. Yeah, and then they feel somehow caught into this. Yeah,
I would like to pick up on that word responsibility. So within this role, you are a person in authority, which can be abused, as you said. So what is your relationship like with your ego, or how do you keep it so that you don't fall to the manipulation side?
It's a really good point you mentioned, because always, and especially when I work in groups, I'm totally aware of the power I have. Yeah, because the people, I mean, the work doesn't happen without the people surrendering and following. Yeah, and I have to be very careful with that. Yeah, because I know they somehow trust me that much that they would do almost everything. Yeah, and this is one main part a teacher or a healer should be aware of, and most aren't. Yeah, because they see, okay, I'm the professional, I have this, yeah, I can do this, and blah blah blah, but they are not aware. They don't watch themselves. Yeah, and the other part, which I like even more, is that I mostly work without words. Yeah, so this manipulation falls away. Yeah, and the energy passing on to people, I cannot manipulate. Yeah, because if I would interfere with the cosmic, or whatever you call it, energy, and the person I work with, if I would interfere, it wouldn't work. Yeah? And this is the beauty. Yeah? Because the energy somehow says about me, you don't care. We just need you. Yeah? We just need you as a channel, but you don't matter. Yeah? And this is the beauty. Yeah? And this is where this surrender leads to. Yeah? True surrender.
Is there, being a channel, or is there something you fear?
You mean in general? Of course, yeah. I mean, this is why I call my work a human spirituality. Yeah, and I never hide my fear. Yeah, I might not have the great fears most people have, like death. I'm not afraid of death. Yeah. But of course, I'm like I was faced in the beginning of this year, maybe losing the ashram place. Yeah. Of course, it has attacked me, and I was frightened and triggered for 1 month. I was crying, I was shaking, and I went through deep processes. Of course, I have. Yeah. But also on the ongoing path, I realize that somehow I'm losing more and more fears. Yeah. But it doesn't mean that and I'm not convinced that I or everybody else will reach a point of fearlessness. Yeah, because our being a human being is a fragile state. Yeah, it's very fragile. Yeah, and so of course, if I want to experience something in life, of course I'm afraid that this form might not continue to this point where I have this experience. Yeah, of course.
Talking about your ongoing evolution, were there some recent surprises that you didn't see coming?
Everything. Yeah, because it's I have a saying in my life and in my work, and it is only when we are stunning, when we are amazed, we are really open. And after 20 years, or in these 20 years, I had never the feeling, oh yeah, okay, this I know. Yeah? When working with someone, or when I have my own experience, it's always a wow, a wow, a wow. Yeah? It's always being amazed. Yeah? So it's never yeah, everything. Also, when my outlook changed, or whatever, okay, yeah. Like the KI I put on recently, yeah. So okay, okay, yeah. And it's always, yeah, and I look in the mirror when I'm doing it, or in the evening, when I look again in the mirror, and I say, okay, yeah. It's never, yeah, okay, cool stuff, yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Is if you in life would ever retrospectively look back at your period right now, what is it that what would this phase be called, or what are you learning?
I unlearned. I unlearned so many things. Yeah. And not pushing back your learning. Totally. I learned that there's so much beyond. So much beyond.
Mm-hmm.
That it's still a fascinating journey for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is what I can say, that it's really beautiful for me to keep discovering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And this is what I can say, that I'm somehow I unlearned all the things, or most things I was taught, yeah, in my childhood, in the society.
Mm-hmm.
And I changed, and this is why I became that kind of appearance,
mm-hmm.
because I somehow lost the contact to the society,
mm-hmm.
yeah, and I found something where I feel totally at home,
mm-hmm.
and this is why I feel at home in Nepal and India, in the Himalayas,
mm-hmm.
yeah, where I really, where I'm not a freak, yeah, yeah, I'm a freak in a different way for them, yeah, but not in that manner or in that aspect, like in the Western world.
We spent some time now talking about you, and what I would like to jump into now is you use the word society. So as you are going through change, it's very clear that society is going through change. So there's a lot of New Age religions. There is body-based therapy, yoga. How do you fit into all of this, and what is your view on that?
Somehow I don't care about this scene, but it doesn't mean that I find them useless, or it is just that the mission I have to embody and to fulfill is taking most of my energy. Yeah. But of course, on the sideway, I realize them, and most how can I say, most evolutions in a so-called spiritual work I see really not in a good way. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it becomes more a cool lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's somehow losing the depth of a spiritual path. And yeah, they are missing in most of these modern ways. I miss the humbleness, mm-hmm. and the true devotion, which really means your will be done. Yeah.
Because it's presented like a solution, and we all know it's not a solution, it's a journey.
Yes, right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's always, I mean, there's a great guy, I don't have his name, but it's his book, his first book was Shadows on the Path. And there's one, there are many great statements. It was a pure joy reading this book, because I said, yes, fuck yes, yeah. I was always reading it like this, very loud, yeah, everybody could hear around, I'm reading this book. And he he had many great statements. One is so fitting to this modern esoteric spiritual scene. And he said, if someone promised you an easy solution, run away. Yeah? Yeah? Escape. Yeah? Because this is nobody, they are just lazy assholes somehow. Yeah? They want a solution. They want doing miracles. Yeah? Do something and my life is better. But I don't do anything. Yeah? I don't risk anything. Yeah? I want you to, oh yeah, smooth. Oh yeah. Yeah? And it's very superficial. Yeah?
So seeing a lot of people gives you a snapshot of today's society. So what's like the most, what's the most common reason why people come to you? And what does it tell you about what's going on in society?
I could say that first part is we have lost and still losing the contact to being human being and being grounded and being with nature. Yeah? This is the first part. Yeah? And this is why there is somehow there's an evolution of desire of the so-called ancient path. Yeah? So this is why shamanism, I mean, I started with shamanism 20 years ago, and that was really a crazy thing at that time. Yeah, I mean, shamanism has become more common and known, these days. But when I started, it was totally freaky. Yeah, totally freaky. And this this has really a lot to do with my transformation. In the last 5-6 years, I had somehow a boost in my mystical evolution, that more and more people come to find their connection with the mystic realm, yeah, and to what I see, that the soul has a desire for light, but also for the darkness, and this is what I offer, because in the darkness we find the mystics, we find the grounding, yeah, we find the depth, yeah, and this is what they look for, and this they can find because I clearly show that. Sometimes I say, yeah. Some sessions look like a dark mess, yeah, which is not the dark mess in the devil's sense, yeah, but it looks like, or it appears like, yeah, because we have lost this, yeah. We the Christians have taught us this has to do with the devil, and this is bad, this is evil, yeah. And I'm somehow encouraging people to say, okay, let's discover and find out, is it really the devil part, or is it something which makes you complete? Yeah? And this is actually the trick of all the religions. They take away this part and you will never come complete. This is a trick. Yeah? And everybody doing it. The Buddhists call it karma. Yeah. Oh my God, bad karma is waiting for you. Yeah, fuck. Yeah.
So for people who come to see you, what should they be careful of?
What do you mean? Maybe they should be careful of me.
I don't know. It's,
No, I mean, I honestly tell every new person coming to me that it might be a tough experience. Yeah, And this is also, we come back to the responsibility. I have to tell them. That's a tough part, yeah, because it's neither a joy for me nor for the other coming here and I'm surprised by the toughness, yeah, or by the depth of this experience. Yeah. So I tell them, okay, take care of yourself after the session, and I mean I'm somehow in a very good position that I'm just a channel. Yeah. So I know that I am most of the time I'm out of this what happens. Yeah. Me as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So only that which is really for the good and for the benefit of the person I'm channeling, I'm working with, will happen. Okay. Yeah. So there's a deep trust in that, because I am not doing anything.
Yeah. For the people who are very foreign to this, there is a general sense in society that we should move from our heads and live more in the heart. Is that part of the connecting, or is it a different journey?
I mean, it often starts with that. Yeah, it starts because the Western society is full of mindfuckers. Yeah, and I was a mindfucker too. Yeah, so it was really a hard journey. Again, this hard. I love this because it's not my. You hear the difference, but I don't hear the difference. But I like this play of hard. It's a hard journey. First, from the mind to the heart, because in the heart we will discover all the emotions and all the wounds we have. But this is also the connection to the divine, or whatever we call it. But this is not stopping here. From the heart, it goes down to the belly. Yeah, and this is what I really love about the Zen masters. When you ask the Zen master, how do you think and where do you think, and they touch the belly. Yeah, the belly is even deeper than the heart, and this is also what you said before. Yeah. The modern society of spiritual, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. They put the heart in the center, but they don't want to go down, because here it goes deeper, it goes darker, wider, yeah? More uncontrollable. Yeah? And then you go even deeper, yeah? To your dick or vagina. Yeah? And then you are first complete in that way. But that is not the end. And then you go in the beyond space. Yeah? And the beyond space is really where you somehow losing every form. Yeah? And you become somehow floating around in the formless ocean.
Yeah. Talking about bellies, just had a thought. There is this English expression, you are what you eat. And a lot of this new spirituality has a very big focus on food and what are your thoughts around that?
Follow what your belly tells you. Yeah, because I was a vegetarian long time ago when it was not hip, it was not in at that moment, and I had my experience and it was good, but I came back to eat whatever my intuition is telling me. Yeah? Because the intuition it's much more wiser. Yeah? Or what the body work are saying, the body never lies. Yeah? So when you are for a fucking McDonald's, maybe follow. Yeah? Yeah? Maybe not every day, yeah? But just follow. Yeah? And it will change. Yeah? And this is a beauty. The spiritual scene always agree. The only constant thing is change. But they say, I'm vegetarian. I stay vegetarian. Yeah, like this. Yeah, it's so stupid. Yeah, they don't realize it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't say it has to change, but they should allow this change to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I can say in my work with people, that the most spiritual people and more relaxed and alive people are those vegetarians who say, and sometimes I like a steak. Very rare, maybe once a year, but I like it. Yeah, and they are so relaxed because the other ones are so rigid. Oh my God, no, only raw food. Yeah, I don't cook my food, and so on. Yeah, it's such a bullshit. Yeah, and my guru was at that time he was eating meat. Later on he was vegetarian, but at that time he was eating meat, and he was asked in a session, Michael, I've seen you eating meat last night, and I wonder why. And he said, because I like it. Yeah, and that's
simple. Is there any advice, life advice at the moment that really irritates you? Do you think this advice it's not going to get anybody anywhere?
It's a timeless advice they keep giving people, and this is don't trust what you feel. Yeah. Just yesterday, I was reading a statement and I said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry for this person because she believes this bullshit of a very, very popular spiritual teacher, because he said anger is weakness." And he gave the student an anger mudra. You should put your thumbs in your fist and hold it and breathe. What a bullshit. What a bullshit. It's so, and this is ongoing. Yeah. There are no new advices. It's always the same trick, what I said before. The only trick is I put a concept, I create a religion or spiritual path which somehow cuts off at least half of the duality. Yeah. And the duality is so bad as a spiritual scene. Yeah. And it's such a nonsense. They don't realize you cannot transcend the duality within the duality. It's such a bullshit. Yeah. And it is not meant to be. Otherwise we wouldn't decide to incarnate in duality. Then we would incarnate in the oneness. Yeah. Yeah. Then we wouldn't have this problem. But we are here and we have this kind of feeling. Yeah. And this is really, this pisses me off sometimes, and sometimes I'm really angry and then my warrior comes out. Yeah.
Picking up on duality, right now it's quite topical, the gender and non-binary. And so in the last 6 months it feels like it's really... So what are your thoughts around that?
As you could see in my face, this was my first answer. And on the secondly, it's difficult for me to answer this subject, because on one hand, I support and encourage diversity. And there's nothing wrong about diversity, absolutely not. But what I see is a freak show, a freak show, yeah? Because what happens now is somehow they are aggregating and distorting the image and the number of non-binary people. And I also think maybe it is possible that we are in an age of more souls coming without this man and woman. Maybe possible, yeah. But what I see, like we have seen in the last 2 years with this corona shit and so on, we see that the propaganda is making so many things bigger, yeah, like the rainbow shit, yeah. I mean, I was always fighting for being gay or whatever, and to make it very natural and so on. But I'm so fed up with the rainbow thing. Yeah. Whenever I see a rainbow, I can vomit. Yeah. This is my only response. Yeah. And I don't go to the Pride party anymore. Yeah, because it's too much. Yeah. And on a shamanic level, there are some people, and I have experienced some non-binary or trans people or whatever in my work. They are fascinating, and it's true, but it is also a fashion, a trend, and the same people who don't have somehow the balls and the courage to live their own, they jump on this train because then, oh my God, yeah, applause, yeah, and yeah, but it's empty, it's hollow, yeah. It has no matter,
no roots,
yeah, and it's just a trend like so many trends we have seen, yeah. I mean, I'm 50, so I've seen many trends come and go, yeah, spiritual trends and society trends, yeah. And for me, I'm really open to work with people who also want to discover what is the reason I feel so. Yeah? And this they stop. Yeah, they don't want to look deeper. They just want this. Oh my God, I'm so different. Yeah, and this difference, this insisting on I am different. This is the same response like I am vegetarian, I am this, I am that. Yeah, the stronger you demand to be respected, yeah, the more hate you earn. Yeah,
that's the duality.
Yes, yeah, and they don't see it. Yeah, and it's really a pity that by the propaganda of oh my God, queer, all my heterosexual friends, they say, hey, I'm fed up with the scene. I was really tolerant in the years before, yeah, but I'm somehow fed up because it's somehow the new normal. And it's not the case. We are still the minority. And it's nothing bad about being a minority. But I don't like to behave like a majority. Yeah, and that's the point. Yeah, by aggregating everything, you create the opposite part, and they are not aware of. Yeah, you see it in the comments after when you see on Facebook some binary, non-binary documentaries. Yeah, it's often hate comments. Yeah, but it's part of their they insist so much. Yeah, and so they create the opposite. This is what I see.
Having spent time on the here and now and society, I would like to go more into the future and maybe more abstract questions. You said earlier we are losing our connection to nature. If you had to be in an interview like this right now, interviewing Mother Earth, what would you ask her?
Nothing. Yeah, because I don't have this feeling of, and I don't see it as I'm doing harm to Mother Earth. Yeah. when I just take a wider focus, I see it's a whole movement. Yeah, and somehow it is for something. Huh? And even if we have to somehow collapse, then it's needed. Yeah? Mm-hmm. This is what I see. So this is why I wouldn't ask Mother Earth anything.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think are our biggest challenges ahead? Is it total collapse, or what do you think? What do you predict?
Two things I see. First is really becoming human being again. Yeah? And the second thing is becoming or realize your energy nature. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if we aren't aware of human beingness, there is so much connected to this. Yeah, so many problems. Yeah, it starts like how we should work. We should work like machines. Even if I don't feel well, I have to work like a machine. Yeah, it starts there, and so many other things. Yeah, or people go in the nature and they leave their rubbish there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they don't take it back. Yeah, and all these things, the interconnectedness. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We've spoken about society and looking into the future. I want to sort of look at you again. And there's a bigger question. And the question is, what piece of your soul do you think you need to let go of in order to grow and evolve even faster?
I wouldn't say faster, but to grow. Yeah. It's what I said before. I'm always amazed about the steps to come and when they happen. Yeah. So in general, I could make this flat, saying, I should surrender even more. Yeah. But my path and my becoming has taught me one thing, that everything I am right now is not what I wanted. Yeah. So for me, really, the surrender is a key point, because it always leads me to this beyond. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I cannot say that which part of my soul I should let go or I should release to grow or to support the evolution, but to stay humble and surrendering.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. For people who've watched this now and who are interested to be on a spiritual or shamanic journey, what simple step advice can you give them?
See if it makes click in you with me.
This brings us to our end. Is there do you have a sense that there is a question missing or a thought or something that came up whilst we're talking that we didn't spoke about?
No.
No?
No. It was really, really nice to flow with your questions and whatever you thought of before, and to hear these questions and to somehow see what kind of answers appear.
No, very good.